Greetings, Lords of Chaos. Today we've got a very exciting announcement for Warhammer Chaos and Conquest. We've got a ton to share and the video is going to be broken into 4 parts. We're going to start with the trailer for our campaign expansion, then we'll move on to the hot questions we've received recently from the community. Thirdly, Karolina is going to show us how we brought the new Ulthuan area to life. And then finally, we're going to talk about future content coming to the game later this year.
I'm Karolina, I'm here with John today, and we'd like to show you what's coming up next on Warhammer Chaos and Conquest. But before we show you that trailer, hit that red subscribe button to keep up to date with all our future content.
Okay, let's set the scene. The Empire lies trampled under your feet. The Dark Gods are happy with your triumph, but demand more bloodshed. None on this continent have proven to be worthy adversaries. On the island of Ulthuan dwell the glittering hosts of High Elves. Perhaps there, on those distant lands, you will find the challenge you seek. Right, let's break this trailer down a little bit. To begin with, we flew down the river into the main city of Lordaeron within the region of Ulthuan. Within the region, there's going to be 3 key landmarks to battle over. The first is going to be Lordaeron, the main city itself. The second will be the Everwatch fortress in the north of the region. And the third is going to be the glittering tower on the shore to the south.
So, to conquer Ulthuan, alliances need to work together to occupy these strongholds and hold them for a certain period of time. Ulthuan is about 1/3 the size of the old world, so there's plenty of space for players to invade and alliances to work together towards ultimate victory.
Also in this trailer, there are 2 foes that will battle within the Ulthuan realm. The first is the Dragon Prince of Kalandor, and the second is the Flamespire Phoenix. Defeating these foes will help you complete new alliance quests and will also offer other rewards which are unique to the region of Ulthuan. Ulthuan will be released in 2 phases. Later this month, the Host of Hoeth, in which the fearsome swordmasters from the High Elf region of Ulthuan will have heard the pleas of the Empire and are journeying to the old world for a brand new challenge.
Meanwhile, the Chaos forces have constructed a mighty Chaos port on the edge of Norska, near the channel to the Sea of Claws.
At this Chaos port, you'll access the new War Master store. There you'll spend the silver leaf that you earn from defeating the various elven armies. From the Chaos port, you'll be able to access and view the region of Ulthuan. It won't be long before the Chaos Armada sets sail for this region, but for now you'll be able to view it and plan strategically for this upcoming event.
In the November update, the Invasion of Ulthuan will begin, and the Ulthuan region will open for 60 hours from Friday at noontime to Sunday at midnight. Players and alliances from every region will clash within Ulthuan in an all-out war to see who is the most powerful.
In similar style to Region Wars, there's going to be some new rules within the region of Ulthuan. Around each of the key strongholds, there'll be a siege zone, and if your keep is ever reduced to 0 health, then you'll be randomly teleported back to your home region. Within Ulthuan, we'll have both high-level armies and foes. This area is very much aimed at players of keep level 15 or higher. We're also going to have new alliance quests with new rare caches that the alliance will work together to obtain. Some of the new rewards are going to be Ulfmar shards, which you can use to craft the new Elfslayer set. We're also going to have corrupted way shards that can be used to create a new desecrated Elven City keep skin. And then finally, the highly sought after Silverleaf is also available as a gathering node within the region of Ulthuan. To achieve victory within the Invasion of Ulthuan event, you first need to defeat the armies of elves in each of the 3 strongholds. You then capture and hold these locations, and for every minute that you're in control, you gain challenge points. At the end of the 60-hour timer, the alliance with the most challenge points will be victorious in the Invasion of Ulthuan. Alliances that rank high within the Invasion of Ulthuan will be granted new alliance gifts. Their officers and their leaders can assign these gifts to their alliance members as they see fit.
Full details of all these mechanics will be in news posts released with each of these updates. If you have any questions, please leave them in the comments below and we'll do our very best to try and answer them.
We're now going to jump into community questions. Karolina's got a list of some of the burning issues from the last couple of months, so here we go.
So first question, John, are you planning to add a way to sell components, and are you planning to allow tier 4 and tier 5 to trade their materials for alliance coins?
So the answer is definitely yes. Our focus right now is on the Ulthuan update, but beyond that we're definitely going to look at quality of life changes. We are aware players have too many of those tier 5 unit components that they don't need, so yeah, we'll definitely put something in that lets them trade them or exchange them for something more usable. So it's on our radar and we'll get to it soon.
Right, so another question for you, John. Do you have any plans to introduce some new event types, like for example, huge boss raids for the whole server to kill?
Yeah, it's definitely an interesting suggestion. I think it's something that our designers can definitely have a brainstorm and a powwow about. What I'd like to say is if you stay to the end of the video, we have a reveal coming for a new event that's coming out later this month. It's an armies event and it actually has level 25 armies, so there's no way players will be able to take them down solo. So hopefully that kind of answers the question.
So another question, would you consider adding more regions and new cities to conquer on the map?
Well, I think in the Invasion of Ulthuan we've just added that, but there's a lot of space to play with in the old world, and there's definitely some key locations or races that aren't there. So yeah, I think into the new year, absolutely it'll be on our radar, and it's something that we'll definitely look at.
So John, is there a chance to introduce the possibility to buy a shield for Alliance members by Alliance leaders?
So in the new Ulthuan update, we're adding this new gifting system, so Alliance leaders can gift items to players. So we could definitely have it where they could gift a shield. If you're talking about casting a shield on another player, well, that isn't something we've considered, but if the community really wants it, I don't see why not.
Here's a question for you, John. Are there any plans to reduce shield timers by 5 to 10 minutes?
Absolutely. People have brought this up a lot. In the update later this month, we're actually going to lower the timer by 5 minutes. So we're going to trial the shield timer at 10 minutes. We'll look at the community for feedback, and hopefully you guys see it as a positive change.
So are you planning on tackling food consumption or providing some items to reduce it?
Yeah, I think food consumption has just become an issue recently. What we're talking about internally is maybe we've been doing a round of buffs on items, so some items could reduce food consumption. We're also looking at maybe adding a new ritual that reduces food consumption. I think it's something you'll see in the game fairly soon.
Could players receive more points in PvP to reflect the risk of such action? Could players have an RVR event where units heal after and separate from a competitive version with permadeath?
Yeah, so I guess healing and both the cost and the time has been a topic for a while now. I think we've been addressing it in the last few patches. We've made the resource cost cheaper, we've buffed the Nervigol keep skin with the healing, we've buffed the Sawbones with the healing speed, and I can say now that the next patch is actually going to do a 30% reduction further on all healing speeds for all units across the game. So it's something that we're sort of continually monitoring. We're trying to find a good balance. So let us know after this update how you find the new healing speed, and we'll continue to look at it in the future.
So, hot topic, John. Are you planning to buff resource buildings and resource generation in the future?
Yeah, so if you look at like the 4 buildings within the base, like the slaughterhouse, we can add some more levels to them, give them some more regeneration. We're also going to look at the map, because players have been saying that they would like to see higher level nodes consistently throughout the map. So we did level up the nodes before, but we're going to revisit that and see if we can improve that as well.
So final question of the day today. Could you split warband losses fairly amongst all players who use the same kind of troops to prevent situations like 5 people with 0 losses and 2 people with 300,000 losses when all send the same type of troops?
Yeah, so I guess we could is the answer, but right now I want to explain how the mechanic works so that people can fully understand and plan for their warbands. We may change this, I just don't have a timescale right now because we're focused on Ulthuan. So the way it actually works is, it is the first member of the warband to put their troops in that will take the losses. However, those losses are also definitive on morale, in that if me and you were in a warband and you put your troops in first, normally you would take the losses, but if I put my troops in second and they were lower morale than yours, then I would take the losses. So I think it's not super clear in the game how that works, so hopefully by explaining this, then players will be able to strategize and at least in the interim plan their warbands accordingly.
Right guys, so as I mentioned earlier, my name's Karolina and I've been the principal concept artist on Ulthuan for the past year, and I'm really excited to show you some of how this realm's been made. So we started off by deciding which part of the elf realm we are going to need. We settled on Ulthuan, the Emerald Gate, the Glittering Tower, and the Everwatch. From there, I started gathering all the references that I could find for elf architecture in the Warhammer fantasy universe, and then finding similar architecture in real life. This allowed me to broaden my knowledge about shapes and details that make this very distinct style. Once I was satisfied that I had a good understanding of the architecture style, I moved into a 3D software called Blender. If I don't have a solid idea for what we're looking for in a concept, I will often start with a sketch, but because I had enough information at hand, I could bypass that and go straight into blocking. Blocking is when I use pretty basic 3D shapes, almost like Lego blocks, to start figuring out the shapes and proportions of buildings, as well as their relation to each other on the map. It's especially useful for big cities like Ulthuan, where drawing the whole thing by hand would have taken a very long time. Architecture uses a lot of repetitive shapes and motifs, and this is where 3D excels. I can create a single window and duplicate it across a building, for example, saving me a lot of time. If you break it down, all of the Ulthuan structures are created from the same handful of basic pieces, just composed into different shapes. This means that all the buildings feel like they belong together in the world. Concept art is a collaborative process, so the whole development team will get to see my work as I go along. When we're all happy with the blocking phase, I'll render out a still image of the 3D model and bring it into Photoshop. Here I use a mix of photo textures and painting, allowing me to test out different color schemes before creating final versions of the concept, which would then go to the 3D department for modeling and texturing before being placed and settled in the game map. It's been an absolute pleasure bringing Ulthuan to life, and I am really proud of how it turned out, and I hope that you will all enjoy it.
So thanks, Karolina, that was really great, really enjoyed it. So in October, we've got a new event coming out, the Warpfire Ruination, in which players will fight against swarms of Warpfire dragons. Mutated by devouring Warpstone dragons are twisted in body and mind. Cruel and hateful, their touch is corrupting. Later this month, players will be able to fight against these Warpfire dragon armies in a new event. This will include the level 25 location we mentioned earlier. And finally, a few more things coming to the game this autumn are new defences, new renown units. The team's also started working on a winter event, and you'll get more details on these very soon.
Thank you so much for joining us on this stream. We hope you enjoyed it. If you've got any comments, please leave a message down below, and we'll see you in the next one.